Hello everyone, Namaste and welcome back to my channel Shwe Serene Space. Hope you all are doing well. This day was a calm day after a week of hectic schedule. I am so sorry I could not upload a video on Monday. I had to give attention to so many things that I had to pause certain tasks to restart later. Many a times we plan many things but forget the fact that God has planned everything for us beforehand. So, no matter how hard we try, whatever has to happen will happen and everything happens for good. If you remember, I mentioned in one of my previous vlogs that we were planning to go on a vacation. But that got postponed as something very important turned up and we had to delve into that immediately. Last week we had all our relatives at our place and enjoyed a lot. We had a blast, truly. But hosting is not an easy task. Though everybody in my relatives were a helping hand, but to make sure that I meet all their needs from time to time is my responsibility, isn't it? Also, we hosted an event in a hotel and you can imagine the planning that needs to be done so that the event could take place without any glitch. Thankfully, my husband is a great event planner and he helped me in listing out all the things that were needed to be taken and together we managed everything well. Touch wood. But the aftermath of such an event is that you are completely tired and your house is in a mess. So is my house. There are no veggies in my fridge, so my vacation frozen food came in handy to me like this. That's why I am so particular about meal planning as you never know what's going to happen the next minute. So, as homemakers, let's be prepared from our side. Today I am cooking just plain dal and rice as we have summer pickles to go along with them. There are so many things to start with to reset a home, and among those many things, one is restoring your fridge. As this was an unexpected event, I could only manage to get the veggies that were essential immediately and did not get any extra as I know I did not have time in hand to properly store them. So, today I handed over the veggies list to my husband and he brought fresh produce from the local market. I got palak, carrots, cabbage, tomato, cauliflower, bottle gourd, coriander, lemon, sweet potato, beetroot, brinjal, drumsticks, onions, potatoes, elephant foot, yam, lady's fingers. Oof. So basically I got the veggies that I need for this week and with these I will meal plan accordingly. Also, I will be showing you guys how to store these vegetables so that they stay fresh for over a week. I rarely use tissue papers to line my fridge storage containers. Going green is not easy and these are my baby steps for my kids to have a better environment in the future. I use these cloth liners instead and as they are washable, I reuse them from time to time. So in a container, I laid this liner and put the tomatoes into it. As it's a cloth liner, it will absorb any moisture and the tomatoes will stay fresh until a week. All green leafy vegetables can stay fresh up to a week if they are stored properly. I am using the same liner here and then storing the palak in it. You don't have to worry if you don't have these liners. Any old napkin would do the job. Else, you have the tissue papers. But I would suggest go with cloth as it has more moisture absorbing capacity than tissue paper. I covered the palak with the liner again and closed the lid. Any green leafy vegetable is going to stay fresh for longer period this way. You can also blanch palak and store it, but I prefer it this way. Next comes carrots. Carrot is one such vegetable that is consumed almost every day in my house. We eat it as salad, my kids munch it from time to time. It's Lucy's favorite snack too. So, I always have them in hand. There are many ways to store carrots, but I prefer it this way. Carrots go bad from their head and tail, so I cut off the head and tail and store them in an airtight container. If you don't have time to cut the head and tail, then store the carrots as it is in water in an airtight container. But you have to keep changing the water every alternate day. So that is the reason I like to store my carrots like this. And the rest I will slice them and store them in a glass container for quick access to my kids. These are some cloth mesh bags that I have. I use them to store brinjal, lady's finger and other whole vegetables. Earlier I used to cut lady's fingers and store them in an airtight container. It stays fresh for a week and doesn't go bad. But nowadays, depending upon the need of the hour, I am cutting veggies the night before. That way, I don't have to do all the work on the same day. The best way to store curry leaves fresh is to store them as it is with the stem. Once you separate the leaves from the stem, they will go bad fast. Here, I had no option as some leaves were separated by my cook auntie who helped me during the busy days. So, I am trying to store them in the mesh bag. Coriander is also a green leafy vegetable. Wrap it around a napkin and store it in an airtight container. It's going to stay fresh for days together. Here, I am having very little coriander, so I am storing it in a mesh bag. I have a big box in which I store curry leaves, coriander and green chilies together. As these all go in my cooking, storing them like this makes it convenient for me. Many people wrap cabbage in a cling film, but I prefer it to store in the plastic cover that it comes with. I know even this is not healthy, but it is at least reusable. Cling films cannot be reused and are definitely not good for our environment. I know I am not 100% eco-friendly person, but I am consciously taking measures to turn into one. My husband brought a huge cauliflower. Usually I store the cauliflower florets in an airtight container, but today, after storing some like that, I still have some more cauliflower left and that I am storing in the same car that it came with. I have two of these cute little baskets that came when we ordered rice from a hotel. I'm reusing them to store my root veggies like yam, sweet potatoes, beetroot, etc. I'm separating some onions into a container to peel and store them in fridge later. The rest I'm storing in the same basket. I have this set of 3 baskets at home. As it has holes in it, its airy nature makes it perfect for storing potatoes. Don't store potatoes and onions together as the ethane gas from onions makes the potatoes to sprout. Also, try to store potatoes away from heat. Bottle gourd is a huge vegetable to store. Here's a quick and easy tip to store bottle gourd. Cut the bottle gourd according to the size you need and cover it from both the sides with a wrapping paper. Tissue paper is soft and gets wet easily with the water that bottle gourd releases, and cloth wouldn't work here. We need something that stops the water retention. If you can get your hands on beeswax paper, then that's the best eco-friendly solution you can have. But I'm using this wrapping paper and securing it on both sides with a rubber band. This way, it stays fresh for a week. I have elephant foot veggie and I am storing it without washing in the onion baskets. We use drumstick a lot. We use it in rasam, sambar, curry. My elder daughter and my husband literally fight for these in rasam. So, this is very much needed, and here's how I store it. I cut it into finger size and store it in an airtight container. This will stay fresh for 5 to 7 days. With this, I finished storing the vegetables and now comes the cutting and storing task. But by this time, this place got very hot and I was getting bored. So, along with the cutting process, I am treating myself with a movie. I watched Shaitan and my god, Madhavan was awesome. I did not overly like the movie as it had some loopholes. Now let's get back to our vegetables. I'm removing the heads of the green chilies as they rot from the head. Remove the head and wrap them around a cloth and store them in an airtight container. They will stay fresh for at least 2 weeks. I'm putting them back in the box along with curry leaves and coriander. This is my go-to box. How many times have you cried while cutting onions? I know, I hear you. N number of times, isn't it? Here's a tip to save yourself from the onion sting. Cut the head and tail of the onion, peel the top layer and store them in an airtight container in the refrigerator. No, this is not harmful. No, this does not cause any mold. And yes, it is risk-free. Only thing you should follow is take the onions you need and keep the container back into the refrigerator. That's all. I did my research on it. You can too. As I said earlier, I saved a batch of carrots to slice them and store them. This comes in very handy for instant salads too. Lemons are difficult to store in their whole form as if not stored in water, they go bad very fast. So here's the way I preserve lemon. I juice them out into a container. A tip to juice the lemons, cut the lemons into 3/4 and 1/4 and squeeze the smaller part directly as it won't have any seeds. The bigger part can be squeezed using a lemon squeezer. Now to the squeezed lemon, add water. For approximately 1/4 lemon juice, I added 3/4 water. Add salt as it acts as a preservative. Shake it well and your lemon concentrate is ready. You can freeze it into cubes, but I prefer it this way as we consume lemon very frequently. The last task of today is to take out pomegranate seeds. My kids eat pomegranate a lot and so I take out the seeds and store them in an airtight container. They will not go bad for a week. I use it to garnish curd, for salads or just to munch on them. It is such a time savior to have them handy. Trust me. I have some fresh flowers and they stay fresh if stored in an airtight container. My kids, especially my younger daughter, loves fruits, so I store them in my refrigerator always. Grapes go bad if stored in plastic cover. Transfer them into an airtight container without washing. Wash them before consuming. I am keeping everything back in the refrigerator. I store whole vegetables in the crisper as they stay fresh there for a longer period. The rest go into the racks. This might look like a tedious task, but this is essential for us to consume the produce that we bring home. You know, the vegetables prices are skyrocketing and it is our responsibility to store them properly. It is not only our hard earned money, but it's also the hard work of a farmer. We treat food as God, and food is an essential part of our life. So, let's do what we can to consume healthy and fresh food. If you can buy vegetables on a daily basis, then it's really very good. But practically, that is not possible as that halts the cooking process. And even if you buy vegetables daily, there is no certainty that you are going to use them completely. There will be remains and you will be storing them. So, I showed how I store my vegetables, and these tips are very much tried and tested. I am not an authentic person and I am not compelling any one of you to follow my process. I am only showing what works for me. If you want, you can try these methods and let me know in the comment section if it worked for you. After all the work, I'm treating myself with an ice cream. Hope you like this video. If yes, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you all soon with a new video. Until then, take care, keep smiling. Bye bye.